Hi everybody, this is Richard Slay, and today I'm going to talk about percussive tongue block articulation on the harmonica and how to add more power and presence to your playing, regardless of whether you're playing basically a single note run or doing more advanced tongue block vamping. There's a basic process that I'm going to break down for you to be able to use these techniques more effectively. So first I'll show you what I'm talking about by playing a couple examples of a well-known riff from Sonny Boy Williamson, Rice Miller. This is Pucker. Okay, that's from Help Me. And now doing the same riff using percussive tongue block techniques. You know, it just has a lot more power when you start adding those artifacts, chord fragments, and that kind of percussive slap to the riff. And also the difference between basic and is the way that you use, and here's key phrase for you, the explosive release of back pressure. That's the key to getting to this next level, and there are different ways of doing that, and I'm going to go through them as systematically as I can. The first thing you need to make sure of is that you've got the basic techniques nice and solid. You want to get a real clean note happening while you're tongue blocking. And this is one of the best ways to get good fast or refine your technique, which is to use the Flisco tongue block trainer. It's a little device you fold up into a hollow harmonica, and it allows you to see very clearly how your tongue is touching the face of the harmonica and whether or not the hole that you're trying to isolate and open up is really completely open. It's all much more clear once you can see what's going on instead of guessing. And I will have information in the description below on where to find those. So you get your basic tongue blocking together, and now you want to get that explosive release of back pressure. The first place to work on is the back of your tongue and the way it closes off the back of your throat. And that is that K embouchure used very aggressively. Well, it's not really. It's more a matter of doing it clean and accurately, so that it's an instant stop. So I'm starting a chord, and then I'm closing up the back of my throat with that explosive, swift movement. And you can do this, of course, blow or draw. And it's got a little more explosive power on the in-breath than the out-breath. So one of the things you do when you're woodshedding is work at trying to close the gap between your out-breath and your in-breath on that kind of explosive quality. So that's the back of your tongue. Now, the next articulation you can do with your tongue to get that explosive release of back pressure is the side of your tongue. And I've seen people call horses by using this move. So what you're doing is you're starting to pull to bring air down your throat, but you've got your tongue closing off the front of your mouth, and then the side of your tongue moves over quickly to allow that rush of air to explosively go down your throat. And of course, it also works both ways. And same thing as the other, it has a more of a power when you're doing this on the in-breath. And you can do this on both sides of your mouth. It's the same process. But I usually do this on the left or the right-hand side of my mouth, because that's the upper part of the harmonica, and that's usually where I'm moving and articulating the notes. So, back of tongue, side of tongue, explosive release of back pressure. And then what's next is going from that chord to the single note. If we're doing this, so what's going on is I'm starting an in-breath, a chord is being played, the chord ends abruptly with that K articulation, and then I move the front of my tongue to close off the front of the harmonica. Now, it sounds like I'm going just from that closed off chord to closing off everything but one hole on the harmonica to play that single note. But what's actually happening is when I move the tongue forward, I've got the side of my tongue closing off the side of my mouth. I've got my tongue on the holes that I'm closing off. And then I'm releasing, I'm doing that side articulation to put more power in that single note. So this is a lot of things to coordinate, which is why it's a good thing to practice these things one at a time. Back of tongue. Side of tongue. Now I've got my tongue on covering 3 holes and I'm playing draw 4. This is an A harmonica, by the way. So getting those different elements coordinated, it helps to do it very slowly. I'm slowing it down so it's more like a 1, 2, 3. K, moving my tongue forward. So I'm placing my tongue in the harmonica, and then I'm doing that side articulation. It's a little funny to try to break it down that slow, because I do this instinctively now. So that's the basic process there, is getting that explosive release of back pressure and getting it from the back of your tongue, the side of your tongue, and then working on combining it with the chords and the single notes you're playing. Now you can also, of course, work this with chord fragments. You can also coordinate this with your diaphragm, which gives it another level of percussive power. You can also coordinate this with your glottis to create another level of explosive release of back pressure. You can also coordinate this with your hands to create another level of explosive release of back pressure. So we'll go into more depth on some of these other elements in another video, but the main thing I want you to take home from this video is the use of the back of your tongue and the side of your tongue to create that explosive release of back pressure. It's very easy to do this with the tip of your tongue, and that's where most people start, is using the ticky tick tick. And that's cool. It's got its place, no question about it. But if you learn these other techniques and add them to your kit, because they're more subtle and more hard to get together, it will give your playing a real interesting presence that most harmonica players don't have. So, hope you enjoyed that. Check out the rest of my videos at rslay.com and hotrodharmonicas.com. Look for Joe Falisco's Tongue Block Trainer. You can find it at his website. You can also find them in my store at Hot Rod Harmonicas. As soon as I get them back in stock, I sold them out. They're also available at David Barrett's site. So there you go. Thanks a lot for checking out this video. I hope you got some good ideas from it, and I'll be back soon with more.